Jennifer Lawrence among some of the big stars at Elle's Women in Hollywood event, sharing stories of mistreatment in Hollywood.
Reese Witherspoon revealing she was sexually assaulted by a director when she was 16.
America Ferrera joins the hashtag #MeToo movement, opening up about being sexually assaulted as a 9-year-old in a heartbreaking Instagram post.
And a People Now exclusive.
I mean, the more voices that come out, the more people can start relating to it and saying, oh, there actually is an issue.
Olympic gymnastics gold medalist Shawn Johnson East weighs in on how stories of sexual misconduct can lead to change in Hollywood in light of the change that she's seen after similar scandals in gymnastics.
Plus, we have an exclusive clip of TLC's Little Couple with an epic birthday celebration. Hello.
And at last, Cheryl Burke has officially made her way to Dance Moms. We have a sneak peek of tonight's episode.
All today on People Now.
Good morning, Facebook Live and People.com. Welcome to People Now. Today is a big day. Maybe my favorite day of the year. That's not true, but I do like this day. It's National Pasta Day. To celebrate, we want to know, how do you like your pasta? It's our Facebook question of the day. Let us know your answers in the comments below, because we're actually just looking for things to make for dinner tonight. We'll check in with you a little later, but first, here's what you need to know and what's trending today. On Monday night, some of the biggest women in the entertainment industry gathered under one roof to celebrate Elle's 24th annual Women in Hollywood issue. But this year's event had a much different tone. In the wake of the movie mogul Harvey Weinstein's sexual abuse and harassment allegations, women everywhere have been speaking out and sharing their own personal stories of widespread sexual harassment in the industry. Reese Witherspoon used the Elle event as her platform to open up about being sexually assaulted in Hollywood. The actress revealing she was just 16 years old when it happened to her for the first, but sadly not the last time. Witherspoon confessed to the crowd that she was feeling some guilt for not speaking up earlier in her career, saying in part, "I feel true disgust at the director who assaulted me when I was 16 years old, and anger at the agents and the producers who made me feel that silence was a condition of my employment." She continues, "And I wish that I could tell you that was an isolated incident in my career, but sadly, it wasn't. I've had multiple experiences of harassment and sexual assault, and I don't speak about them very often." Witherspoon goes on to say that she was, quote, "kind of taught to sweep her stories of assault under the rug, but that the past few days have inspired her to speak out." She said, "It's made me want to speak up and speak up loudly because I actually felt less alone this week than I have ever felt in my entire career." Reese Witherspoon wasn't the only actress to speak out on Monday night. Jennifer Lawrence also opened up at the Elle Women in Hollywood event about the, quote, humiliating and degrading experience she had in the early days of her career. The 27-year-old actress, who was one of 8 honorees Monday night, told the crowd that she was asked by producers to slim down drastically for one of her first roles, telling her she needed to lose 15 pounds in 2 weeks, and revealing that another actress before her had already been fired for not losing the weight fast enough. Lawrence goes on to say, "During this time, a female producer had me do a nude lineup with about 5 women who were much, much thinner than me. We all stood side by side with only tape covering our privates." She continues, "After that degrading and humiliating lineup, the female producer told me I should use the naked photos of myself as inspiration for my diet." Lawrence said she tried to stand up for herself and told another producer she thought the weight loss demands were not appropriate, but the producer responded that he, quote, thought she was perfectly blankable. The actress said that she felt trapped by the experience, telling the crowd, "I let myself be treated a certain way because I felt I had to for my career." She went on to say, "I'm still learning that I don't have to smile when a man makes me uncomfortable. Every human being should have the power to be treated with respect because they're human." Big Little Lies star Laura Dern opened up on last night's red carpet about her experiences with sexual misconduct at work. She brings a unique perspective to the table as a member of a long-standing Hollywood family. Dern's parents are actors Diane Ladd and Bruce Dern, while her godmother was actress Shelley Winters, known for her Oscar-winning roles in movies like The Diary of Anne Frank. Take a look at what she had to say.
I have not spoken to one person, nor will you tonight, who hasn't had an experience of sexual harassment in the workplace. It seemed as if it was supposed to be a prerequisite. I was one of the lucky few who was raised by an actress, and a godmother who's an actress, and a father who's an actor, so I was told all the stories, so I knew with eyes wide open what should be unacceptable. And it was still terrifying, and I still got bullied, and still experienced trauma. So, if I have the best version, then there's a lot of work to do.
Definitely still a lot of work to be done. By now, you have probably seen the hashtag #MeToo trending all across social media. The movement involves women sharing their stories of sexual harassment or assault, or even just changing their status to a simple "Me Too." This to show the world just how widespread sexual harassment and assault have become. Actress and comedian Niecy Nash gave her take on the movement at last night's Elle Women in Hollywood event. Watch this.
The issues surrounding the hashtag #MeToo of it all are nothing new. But what I'm saying is that we're at a time where voices are being raised and heard. Because a lot of times, because something goes on for so long, it feels like you're supposed to give it a pass. That's just boys being boys. Then those boys turn into men, still with the same bad behavior. So the fact that voices are being raised and people are speaking out is a gift. I've had conversations with some of my male friends who are actors who are very much affected by it to the degree that they don't want anything to be taken out of context. So it has made them straighten up a little bit. And I'm like, good, stay straight.
And America Ferrera has broken her silence in support of the hashtag #MeToo movement, revealing she was sexually assaulted as a young girl. The Superstore actress shared her story of being attacked by an older man that she knew, writing on Instagram, quote, "First time I can remember being sexually assaulted, I was 9 years old. I told no one and lived with the shame and guilt, thinking all along that I, a 9-year-old child, was somehow responsible for the actions of a grown man." The television star was then forced to be around her abuser, further compounding her pain. She continued, quote, "He would smile at me and wave, and I would hurry past him, my blood running cold, my guts carrying the burden of what only he and I knew, that he expected me to shut my mouth and smile back." She ended with a call to action saying, quote, "Ladies, let's break the silence to the next generation of girls so that they won't have to live with this." The former sisterhood of the Traveling Pants actress has been outspoken about women's rights. In January, she spoke at the Women's March in Washington, D.C., telling people at the time that she planned to continue fighting for human rights after the march ended. Well, in the wake of the allegations against Harvey Weinstein, one thing has been clear. Sexual misconduct is an epidemic affecting many more industries than just Hollywood. When gold medalist Shawn Johnson East stopped by the show, she opened up about the world of gymnastics, which was also rocked by a sex abuse scandal earlier this year, how she thinks also that Hollywood could change. Watch.
Speaking on like the gymnastics side, I know that USA Gymnastics is doing so much to turn the sport around and to kind of give a new face to the platform and I don't know, do everything they can to bring positive energy back. So I think
Right.
it does, bringing out so much negative is so draining and so exhausting and depressing, but it's giving a voice to a lot of people that need it and changing a lot of things that need to be changed.
Yeah. As we've seen all these women come forward in this Harvey Weinstein thing, do you feel like that's the kind of push needed, that maybe perhaps the same thing that you're seeing in gymnastics may happen in terms of change in Hollywood?
Absolutely. I mean, the more voices that come out, the more people can start relating to it and saying, oh, there actually is an issue that we need to fix. And I think it liberates people because they can actually talk about things that have been hidden for so long.
Now, guys, stick around. We'll have more with Shawn Johnson East later in the show, talking about her new gig, the second season of CNBC's extreme show, Adventure Capitalist. So stick around for that. Andrea Boehlke, good to hear from her. So much going on and more to talk about.
Yes, let's check in with Facebook Live. In honor of National Pasta Day, we're talking your favorite pasta dishes. I know you're really excited.
Look at that.
Suzanne says pasta, garlic and oil, sun-dried tomatoes, broccoli, shrimp, and goat cheese. I love sun-dried tomatoes.
And Eric's, they are amazing, even just a
so
little
good
bag of
on
them.
anything.
Eric says, I like my pasta in my mouth and not on my shirt, which is a challenge and why it should not be a first date meal.
And Jen says Alfredo with grilled chicken and mushrooms.
Mouth is watering now. Keep the Facebook comments coming in. We can't wait to hear more from you.
You can have pasta for breakfast, right?
Anytime. I think, especially on National Pasta Day.
Yes.
But first, before we have the pasta, you have more for us in Star Trek.
Yes, we have some good news. We are kicking off Star Trek with some positive updates from Gerard Butler after his scary motorcycle crash. Take a look.
Oh yeah, so I was on a motorbike heading home and a lady pulled out in front of me, tried to do a U-turn, and so I just kind of realized as I headed towards this car, this is not going to be pretty. And I hit the car and did a somersault, apparently, went through the air and smacked down, and it hurt a bit, you know, so it kind of, I mean, there's a lot of funny stories in there, because there's always funny stories no matter what I do, including when the guys check, because I banged my head, and he's like, is your head okay? And he says, what's your name? I says, Gerard Butler, or Jerry Butler. This guy behind him was like, I knew it. And so he's like, you're okay. But anyway, so no, I mean, it was a few fractures and a couple of torn things and sprains, but I'll be totally it happened in the middle of this worldwide press tour and 2 sets of additional photography for movies. So it was kind of an inopportune time, but it's fine. I think it was saying slow down a bit, you know, you need to chill. Breathe.
Breathe. Well, it's really great to see that Gerard's feeling better, even well enough to do some dance moves for photographers. The actor who attended Monday night's Los Angeles premiere of his disaster film Geostorm was calm, cool, and collected while describing his scary motorcycle accident that occurred a little over a week ago in Los Angeles. Earlier on Monday, a Butler spokesperson confirmed a TMZ report that the actor was hospitalized following the crash, but is now recovering with only a few fractures. Well, we're all continuing to wish him well on his road to recovery. Geostorm hits theaters October 20th. All right, now watch this.
It's a new dawn, new day, new life. I brought in a new dance teacher. She started off, I believe, as a ballet dancer. And then as she got older, she discovered that ballroom was her passion. She eventually became a pro on Dancing with the Stars. She won 2 mirror ball trophies. Like, she's no joke. Like, she's not gonna come in here sweeter than sweet.
She's not gonna cut you any slack.
You're gonna have to work really hard to show her what you can do.
I think that she'll come in here and want to bring out the best in you. She knows what you need to do to win.
Hello.
Hi. Cheryl Burke's our girl.
It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Cheryl Burke has officially made her way to Dance Moms. That's a special sneak peek of tonight's episode where the girls are finally introduced to Abby Lee Miller's replacement. But does she have what it takes to lead ALDC to victory? Find out tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on Lifetime. Self-taught interior designer Eric Hughes has created a name for himself in the decorating world, remodeling the homes of Hollywood's brightest and boldest with a unique and polished twist. In this week's issue of People, Eric opens up about the inspirations behind some of his more famous looks, from Sarah Jessica Parker's farmhouse kitchen to Andy Cohen's disco-themed bathroom. Check it out.
Sarah Jessica loves a geranium red. It's one of her favorite colors. So I found this color called Tulip Red by Fine Paints of Europe, but I didn't want it sprayed on so that it looked new. I wanted it to have it hand brushed on so you could see the paintbrush stroke. So it had a feeling that it had a little bit of age to it. So that was the color that kind of anchored the room. And then once we had that, I knew that once I saw the apple, which is by an Italian artist, I had to get the apple to balance it out. Lauren Graham, and this is her dining room in Los Angeles. I said, I have this crazy idea, and it's completely over the top. But I had just been to Istanbul, and I'd met the owners of this wallpaper company, and I'd seen this paper, and I thought it was incredibly beautiful. And so I came back and I said, I've got this crazy idea, but we're gonna wallpaper the ceiling and the walls and this kind of ancient Iznik tile design, and I swear it's gonna be great. And she was like, I don't know. And I said, trust me on this one. So we did it, and it's really pretty. Andy wanted from the get-go, he said, I want a crazy over-the-top, like Studio 54 powder room. And there's all these portraits of his ladies. So there's Diana Ross, and there's Madonna, and there's all of them. And it was an incredibly fun room to decorate. And I went through a number of wallpapers, and he was like, no, 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 no. And then he saw this, and he was immediately like, that's it.
Looks so beautiful, I want it. And those are your Star Treks for today.
Stay with us, guys. In case you missed it, we have last night's Dancing with the Stars recap for you, including the near miss due to a wardrobe malfunction. Plus, meet the man who lost 150 pounds thanks to his wonderful adopted dog, Petey. Their story might just make you a little teary-eyed this morning. Stick around for that.
This is King Cutie in People. His Royal Highness Prince George Alexander Louis of Cambridge. These are George's parents, George's home, his Nana, the Queen, and his staff of 644 Englishmen. This is George's dog Lupo, who inspired his favorite book, The Adventures of the Royal Dog Lupo, one George will share now that he's a big brother. People. The details make the story. Don't miss this week's People.
Jason Ritter stars in ABC's new show, Kevin Probably Saves the World. He plays Kevin, a man who is picked to be a righteous one, which means he essentially has the responsibility to help make the world a better place and save the whole thing. No big deal. But when the actor stopped by People Now, we asked him which celeb he would like to see join him in saving the world, and the answer might surprise you. Watch this.
The one that springs to mind is Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Why Cyndi Lauper?
You know, I just saw her in a psoriasis medicine commercial. Have you seen it?
I have. In fact, I talked to her about that a while back.
It doesn't even say Cyndi Lauper. It's just like, here's Jerry, he's this. Here's Cyndi, she just
talks about psoriasis.
Yeah, and it like really made my heart grow 3 sizes that day.
Cyndi Lauper, please be a part of the show. All right. Here's a question for you. A lot of people are saying the show has sort of, in some ways, Touched by an Angel vibes. Is that something that you got when you maybe first read it? Do you see the connection there that people are making?
I see the connection. I mean, I watched Touched by an Angel growing up. It gave me the same sort of comforting feeling that I got from Touched by an Angel, where I was just like, oh, this makes me feel a little bit happier and better about the world, to believe that, to just step into a world where there are signs from the universe and there's some sort of pattern and meaning and all of that.
Eric O'Grey was 340 pounds with his health quickly deteriorating. Things were not looking good, so his doctor gave him a rather unique recommendation to lose weight: get a dog. So he did just that. He is sharing his story in a new book, Walking with Petey. He shared with me how Petey changed his life. Take a look.
I spent about an hour talking about dogs and filling out paperwork and meeting with their adoption people. And they said, I think we have the perfect dog for you. And I had the visions in my mind of something like an 8-pound golden retriever, just a really sweet dog. So they brought in Petey, and he was 75 pounds, and he looked up at me, and I could sense the disappointment in his eyes when he saw me.
You were both disappointed when you met each other.
And I looked at him, and he wasn't at all what I had in mind either, and I looked at him with similar disappointment, and we're both like looking at the very nice lady who was trying to help put us together, thinking, really? This is it?
How did your day-to-day life change when you look at how you were before and then once you had Petey?
I lost on a whole food plant-based diet, just walking Petey for a half an hour twice a day. I ended up losing 5 pounds a week consistently, and in 6 months, I was off all my medications. My type 2 diabetes was reversed. And in 10 months, a little over 10 months, I'd lost 150 pounds. And Petey lost 25. And he became a really happy, proud dog, and we were best friends. And he looked at me as if I was the greatest person to ever walk the planet, because he knew that I'd saved him. And he knew that something had happened between us, and we just formed an inseparable bond. So I decided to become the person who he thought that I was.
You know, you wrote this book. It's quite the inspiration. What's your advice to someone that's maybe struggling the way that you struggled before you met Petey?
It's never too late to become the awesome person that you've always wanted to be, and you can do it. And it starts with making a decision to get better. And really, one of the most important things that you can do if you don't have anybody in your life, the shelter is filled with dogs that want to meet you today. So if you go to the local shelter and you just, pair up with a dog, the dog will give you somebody that'll be in your heart and that you'll have a relationship with and will help you get through this. And by walking that dog just like I did for half an hour, twice a day, you can become a different person in a very short period of time.
Oops, did you catch that? You had to pay close attention. Whitney Carson and Frankie Muniz had a bit of a slip-up during last night's Disney-themed episode of Dancing with the Stars. The hit ABC show, which is our Toyota People Pick of the Day, saw lots of highs and lows for our dancers. Halfway through Whitney and Frankie's sexy routine, which was inspired by Pirates of the Caribbean, Whitney's costume got stuck in her heel, and the pro was left helpless on one foot, struggling to finish the dance. Whitney expressed her shock after the show, telling people, "I couldn't believe it because it's something like you can't really help. My heel got stuck in my skirt and it would just not come out. And so Frankie was dragging me along. I literally couldn't step out of the skirt, so I was spinning on one foot, and luckily, he kept going, or I would have gone down for sure. Thank goodness he knew the steps. He's a good partner. And although Frankie was confident in his tango, he did admit that he was a bit confused, saying it was weird because all week I messed up in that spot every single time. So we got to it and I thought, just do this last thing and we're done. And then I felt her not be in the right spot and I thought, did I mess up? Well, he didn't. Despite the wardrobe hiccup, the pair ended up receiving the second highest score of the evening with a 29 out of 30. And speaking of high scores, tough judge Lynn Goodman awarded 2 contestants with a coveted 10 out of 10. The first duo was Lindsay Sterling and Mark Ballas, who performed a foxtrot routine to the Disney classic When You Wish Upon a Star. And Twitter could not contain its excitement. A Darling writing, Lindsay and Mark got a 10 from Lynn. This is a big deal. You hear that, people? Huge news in the dancing world. And Nova fan couldn't help but agree, saying 10s from Bruno and Carrie Ann are great and all, but the only one that really matters is the 10 from Lynn. You say that 10 times fast, guys. But wait, Lynn did not stop handing out the high scores there. After Jordan Fisher and Lindsay Arnold performed a Moana-themed foxtrot to the tune You're Welcome, the pair received their first overall perfect score, and fans were overjoyed at the news, like Michaela, who basically captured what we were all thinking, and we agree, it's what they deserve. She was screaming it. And Lavanya jumping right on board, writing, yes, Disney 10 straight across the board. It's always a great feeling seeing all that love there and loving the reactions. And of course, we can't wait to see what happens next week when Dancing with the Stars returns Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern for movie night.
This is Jennifer Aniston, who told people her beauty secret. It's called water. This is Julia Roberts, who confessed her $1 million beauty treatment. It's called sleep. This is Courtney, who escapes to the spa. And Michelle, who swears by good lighting. And this is Beyonce, who woke up like this. These are People's insider trading tips to beauty from the world's most beautiful people. The details make the story. Don't miss this week's People.
Well, guys, gold medalist Shawn Johnson East has a new adrenaline-packed project in the works, and it has nothing to do with gymnastics. She stopped by the People Now studios and told us all about her new TV show, including her most extreme moment on set. It will give you goosebumps. Take a look.
It's essentially Shark Tank for the great outdoors. We are testing some of the craziest products. I am technically an investor, and so an entrepreneur will pitch us a product. We will then take it outside, whether it's like on a snow-covered mountain in Moab, Utah, in the ocean. We'll test it out, do crazy things, and then come back and pitch and kind of offer money if we want.
Number one wildest thing that you got to do on the show this season?
Oh, I don't know if I liked it, but we were testing out new like thermal gear. It was supposed to keep us warm even in freezing water. So we had to cut a hole out of a frozen lake and jump through.
Oh my gosh, and did it work?
You'll have to watch.
I think that's a no.
Oh, this sucks.
Are you ever tempted to say, or were you at any point to say, no, I'm not doing this? Was there a line for you like, nope, too much?
I was with a couple things just because like I got nervous and I've had injuries before, but I was the only girl on set. Literally the only girl on set. There was like a camera crew of 50 guys and then the other investors were all guys.
You had to represent.
I know, so I was super competitive. I was like, I can't quit on any of this.
And you can catch Shawn Johnson East in all her glory on an all-new episode of Adventure Capitalists tonight at 10 p.m. on CNBC.
All right.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Uh-oh. Okay.
How are you guys doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, my.
Oh, that looks good. That's great.
I'm gonna pick the pretty,
the blue.
Blue. I'll pick the blue. You wanna do the blue too? Okay.
Oh, look, sprinkles.
Yes. We've got some. Oh, whoa. Amazing.
If you were to take our two experiences, the boys versus the girls, and put it into music terms, ours would be some heavy metal band. I think.
Look over here. We've got.
William. And theirs would be like classical music.
Yeah, really?
They were methodical, they're paying attention to detail, they're all polite to each other. Oh, please pass this, and blah, blah, blah.
Thank you. I'm doing a Zoe cupcake. She loves purple and pink.
Some blue. Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
That's something different.
Yes, yes, yes. Totally. We'll shove her
Oh
there
my
too.
God,
Yeah,
you're
this looks like.
You're gonna knock me out, kid. No more karate lessons for you.
I love that one, Zoe. Now, should we put some toppings on those? You got it? Okay.
Hey, let me see what's going on here.
No!
What?
No! No!
No!
No!
Go away! Get back! Get back! Oh my gosh, Kathy!
But, you know, that's why boys are boys.
So cute. Just a bunch of cupcakes to the face. I could definitely get down with that. We can't wait to see more of the Klein family's sweet shenanigans as they head up to DC to celebrate Zoe's 5th birthday, the famous Georgetown cupcake. And by the looks of it, things are going to get pretty messy for this adorable family of 4. The Little Couple airs tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on TLC, so make sure to tune in.
This is making me second guess my commitment to National Pasta Day. I think National Cupcake Day.
I know, what's better? If only could have landed on the same day. All right, let's check in with Facebook Live. One more time, we're celebrating National Pasta Day by talking about how you like your pasta.
Aaron says, I want my pasta bow tie shaped and al dente and in front of me.
Okay. Lauren says butternut squash ravioli in a sage sauce.
Megan says mac and cheese, very cheesy. Yeah, just, you know what, keep it simple. And you can dial up mac and cheese with some like bacon and different stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Angie says cheese tortellini with Alfredo sauce.
Yeah.
People really like the pasta day,
Oh
they
my
for
gosh.
sure.
This is making, honestly, I'm so happy that I have an excuse. Guys, this is your excuse to just go carb crazy today. Get in there, you can make up for it tomorrow. All right, coming up tomorrow, singer Jessie James Decker dishes on her and her husband's hit series Eric and Jesse, plus Dynasty star Liz Gillies reveals the show she grew up watching. She answers all of our rapid fire questions and she does it with grace and
Yes,
elegance.
she does. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Joey Fatone. Enjoy.
Bye, guys.
Hey, I'm Joey Fatone, and this is one last thing. The last time I made myself laugh, looking in the mirror. Because I'm funny looking. Last song I had stuck in my head. I've had it now for a while, and he's a good friend of mine, Luis Fonsi. The Despacito song is still stuck in my head. The original one, without Justin Bieber, no offense. But I heard the first one before that, so yeah. Last time I was starstruck, it's been a long time since I've been starstruck, but one of my idols and all-time heroes, and this is after he had his accident, was Christopher Reeves. I saw him, he came to one of our concerts, which was pretty cool, with his wife and his son before his wife even passed. And they came to the concert, and I was just like, and that was it.